Write your answers in the spaces provided. You must write down all the stages in your working. Write down all the stages in your working. So write 478 to the nearest hundreds. The nearest hundred means there would be 2 zeros. So you can put a line in between 4 and 7. And you look at the number on the right. The number on the right is 7. 7 is bigger than 5. So you change it to 1 and add it to 4. It becomes 5. And where the 7 was, you put a 0 and a 0. So it's 500. If you put it on a number line, 400 at this end, 500 at this end. In the middle is 450. 478 will be somewhere here. And you can see 478 is nearer to 500. So to the nearest 100, 478 would be 500 because it's nearer to 500. So that's why the answer is 500. Okay, number 2. Write down a multiple of 8 that is between 41 and 60. So a multiple of 8 that is between 41 and 60. So you can list the multiples of 8. 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, 56, 64, 72, 80. Now we want between 41. If that's 40 there, 41 is just after that. That's 60. 60 is just after 56. So the two numbers which are between 40 and 60 is these two in the middle, 48 and 56. Those are the two in the middle, and that's 48 and 56. So list down the multiples of 8 and choose the two in the middle. And the total for question 2 is for 1 mark. Question 3. Change 1.5 kilometers to meters. Change 1.5 kilometers to meters. So we look at this thing here. That's kilometers, km. So the K stands for kilo, the M for meters. So to change kilometers to meters, you follow this blue line, this blue curve. You times by 1,000, 1 with 3 zeros. So to change from kilometers to meters, you times by 1,000. So that means you take 1.5 times by 1,000. 1.5 times 1,000. That gives you 1,500. And that's the answer for that. Here is the list of numbers. 4, 6, 9, 10, 15, 27, 30, and 40. From the list, write down all the numbers that are powers of 3. The one that are powers of 3. Let's look at what powers of 3, what does that mean? Powers of base 3. 3 to the power 0 is 1. Any base to the 0 power equals 1. 3 to the power 1 is 3. Any base to the power to the 1 power equals itself. Any base to the 1 power equals itself. 3 squared, the same as 3 times 3, is the same as 9. 3 cubed is the same as 3 times 3 times 3, is the same as 27. 3 to the 4th, same as 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, is the same as 81. So we look on this list. 4 is not found on this list. 6 is not found on this list. 9, you can see 9 there. 9 is 3 squared, so we choose 9. 10 is not found on this list. 15 is not found on this list. 27, we can see 27 is found on that list. That's 27 there. So 30 is not found on the list. So is 40. So the two numbers are 9 and 27. 9 and 27. So those are the two numbers which are powers of 3. Number 5, write 19% as a fraction. To change from percentage to fraction, if you look down here, change from percent to fraction, you put over 100. So to change from percent to fraction, you put over 100. You remove the percent sign and you simplify. So you put over 100, or you divide by 100, remove percent sign, and then you simplify. So to change percent to fraction, you have 19 divided by 100. But there's no number that we can simplify. So the answer is just 19 divided by 100. Work out 20% of 80. Percent, given percentage divided by 100 times a number. The number is 80. The given percent is 20. So you substitute them. 20 divided by 100 times 80. So do not forget that the given percentage is 20 and the number is 80. When you substitute that, you multiply it, it gives you 16. Number 7, there are 4 types of counter in the back. The table shows the number of each type of counter in the back. Red circle type of counter, no, red circle is 16. Green is 26. Red square is 11. And green is 7. We add all the reds together, 16 plus 11. 16 plus 11, it gives you 27. So the red is total of 27. We add the greens together. 26 plus 7, 26 add 7 gives you 33. So what's the difference between the two of them? How many more means you subtract them? The big number is 33 minus the smaller one, 27, it gives you 6. So your answer for that one is 6. Question 8. Here is the gauge for the fuel tank of a car. Empty and full. The fuel tank holds 52 liters of fuel when the tank is full. 1/4 of the tank, the tank is 1/4 full of fuel. Work out how many more liters of fuel are needed to fill the tank. So if it's 52 liters for the complete, you divide by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 52 times 1/4, or 52 divided by 4, it gives you 13. So each quarter equivalent to 13 liters. 13 plus 13 plus 13 plus 13 gives 52. Now you want to find how much is empty. That's the one that is empty. So all of this what I've colored green is the part that is empty. And you can get that by multiplying 13 times 3. Or you do 52 minus 13, and that gives you the part that is empty, 39 liters. Question 9. Simplify 4e plus 9 plus 6f plus 7e minus f. We add like terms together. 4e plus 7e gives you 11e. 6f minus 1f, 6 minus 1 is 5, so it gives you 5f. So your answer is 11e plus 5f. Number 10. Bill has 400 counters in a bag. He gives 35 of the counters to Samina, 50 of the counters to Henry, 75 of the counters to Lucas. What fraction of the 400 counters is left in Bill's bag? Give your fraction in its simplest form. So you add all of them all together. You add 35 plus 50 plus 75. That gives you 160. So it's 160. And you subtract from 400. So 400 minus 160, it gives you 240. So 240 is what is left. And what you can do is you do part, to get a fraction, this is the formula you use. Fraction is part divided by whole. What part is left? 240 is left. The whole is 400. So 240 divided by 400, if you put that in your calculator, it will simplify it to 3/5 for you. Or you can do it without the calculator. Or another way is you do 160 divided by 400. That gives you 2/5. And then you subtract that from, we take that away from 1, you get 3/5. That's another way to do it. Question 11. The table shows the cost of sending a parcel by express service and by rapid service. Type of service, cost. Express service, rapid service. Express service, £15.25. Rapid service, £35.39. Brendan has to send 12 parcels. It will be cheaper to send the parcels by express service than by rapid service. How much cheaper? So you want to work out the cost for 12 parcels. So what you want to do is to work out the cost for, let's start with the first one. Let's use rapid. Rapid is 35. The difference is 35.38 minus 15.25. That gives you 20.13. And if you times that by 12, it gives you 241.56. Or you can do 12 times 35.38 minus 12 times 15.25. So you multiply the rapid by 12 minus you multiply the express by 12, and that gives you 241, which is the same here, 241. Okay, now this next part. Luke wants to send 21 parcels by the express service. He does the calculation. 20 times 15 gives 300 to estimate the cost. Explain why Luke's calculation shows the actual cost will be more than 300. When you're making the estimate, instead of 21, he used 20. So he's gone lower From 21 to 20, he's gone lower to a smaller number. When he was making the estimate, Luke used, instead of 15.25, he went to 15. It's gone lower. So he's used smaller numbers. So when you multiply 20 times 15, the answer would obviously be less because both numbers have been rounded down. So 20 is smaller than 21, 15 is smaller than 15.25. So when you multiply it, it will give you a smaller number. 21, he used 20. For 15.25, he used 15, smaller numbers. And that gives you a smaller value for the estimate. Ali, Ben, and Kathy share an amount of money 6:9:10. What fraction of the money does Ben get? To do this type, you add all of them first. 6 plus 9 plus 10, it gives you 25. So 25 is a total part. And Ben gets 9 part. So Ben's fraction is part divided by whole. Ben's part is 9 divided by the whole. The total is 25. So it's 9 divided by 25. Number 13. The first term of a sequence of numbers is 24. The term-to-term rule of this sequence is add 8. Josie says no number in this sequence is in the 5 times table. Give an example to show what that Josie is wrong. So we can put 24, 32, 40, 48, 56, 64, 72, 80, 88. Numbers that end in 0 are in the 5 times table. So the examples could be 40 and 80. Is 85 a number in this sequence? Give a reason for your answer. No. If you look at 85, 85 is not found in between 80 and 88, so it's not there. So between 80 and 88, 80 and 88 are in the sequence. And 85 is an odd number. This sequence are all even numbers. Even number, even number, even number, even number, even number, even number. Or 85 is not in the 8 times table because these are all numbers in the 8 times table. So those are 3 different reasons you can use. Hello, welcome back. Find the value of 5.27 plus 3.5 divided by 7.9 minus 4.36. I usually do the numerator first, and then I do the denominator. Write down the answer for the numerator, write down the answer for the denominator, write down every number on the calculator before I do it on the calculator. Unless you're very good with the calculator where you can do it and put brackets and everything. It says give your answer as a decimal. Write down all the figures on your calculator. So I do the numerator, and you can see that on the calculator, it gives me 8.7. And then I do this final fraction together on the calculator, it gives me that. I write down all of these numbers. 2.477401113, and that gives you your 2 marks. Okay, let's move on to question 15. You can use this rule to work out the total hire charge in pounds for hiring a 3D printer for a number of weeks. Total hire charge, number of weeks times 70 plus 50. Number of weeks times 70 add 50. Mia wants to hire a 3D printer for 4 weeks. Number of weeks is 4. So you substitute 4 in there. 4 times 70, and then you add 50. That gives you 330 pounds. The next part, Zahir hires a 3D printer. The total hire charge is £680. For how many weeks does Zahir hire the 3D printer for? So you want to find the number of weeks. We can call it X. In maths, anything we don't know unknown, we give a letter to it, and most of the time we use X. We know they got £680 for the total hire charge. The 70 is given in the formula, and the 50 is also given in the formula. So we need to work out what the value for X is. We start by working back by removing the numbers one at a time. We find the opposite of plus 50. Opposite of plus 50 is minus 50. So 680 minus 50. Opposite of times 70, this is times 70, is divided by 70, and that gives you 9. And you can always check your answer when you have time in your exams by substituting the value for 9 in there. 9 times 70 plus 350 will give you 680. Question 16. Here is a rectangle. 4, 6, 4, 6. The six-sided shape below is made from 2 of these rectangles. Work out the perimeter of this six-sided shape. Perimeter is the total distance around that shape. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We need to work out the length for the 6 sides. This 4 is equivalent to that 4. 6 is equivalent to this. If this is the rectangle that has been turned to the side, this is 4. So the remainder there is 6, take away 4, it gives you 2. And since it has been turned to the side, this will be 6, that's 6, and that's 4. You add all those numbers. 6, add 4, 6, add 4, add 2, add 6, add 4, add 6, add 4. It gives you 32, and that's the perimeter of the six-sided shape. For question 17, the accurate scale diagram shows a telephone mask and a box. That's a telephone mask. So you get a ruler, you will measure the height of it, of the telephone mask, and you will find the scale factor. And when you get 10.8 divided by 1.8, it gives you 6. And when you do your working out, you're allowed to have answers between 8 and 10. So answers between 8 and 10 are allowed by the examiners. So because people would measure them differently. And it says accurate scale, but even when you measure it, most people will not get exactly the same answer. That's why they give you a range. Your answer could be between 8 and 10 meters. Right. Question 18. The table shows information about the numbers of points scored by 30 students in a quiz. The number of points scored by 30 students in a quiz. So find the modal number of students. Modal is the most common. Frequency is 7, which is the highest. So it occurs 7 times. So 2 points occurs 7 times. That's what frequency is. Most common. And the modal is the most common, and it gives you 2. So frequency is how many times it occurs, 7 times, and 2 is the answer, not 7. Work out the total number of points scored. 0 points 4 times, 1 point 3 times, so you multiply them. 2 points 7 times, 2 times 7, 14. 3 points 5 times, 3 times 5. 4.6 times 6, 4 times 6. 5.5 times 5 times 5. You add those total together, it gives you 81 points. Question 19. Make X the subject of the formula. When they say make X the subject of the formula, they want you to remove everything and let X be on its own. So we start by removing the 4 plus 4. What's the opposite of plus 4? Minus 4. So minus 4 on both sides. So you're left with 2x is the same as y minus 4. And 2x is the same as 2 times x. What's the opposite of times x? By 2. You divide by 2. You divide both sides by 2. And you end up with y minus 4 divided by 2. So x is now on its own. So x has been made the subject of the formula. This is very common in exams, rearranging formulae. Question 20. The diagram shows a square ABDE and an equilateral triangle BCD. Work out the size of the angle EBC. EBC is the angle I've colored there in that blue color. Equilateral triangle, the 3 sides are the same length. So the 3 angles are the same. So 180 divided by 3, it gives you 60. So each angle is 60, 60, 60. That's by knowing an equilateral triangle has 60 degrees angle. Now this is a square. ABDE is a square. So this angle is 90 and this one is 90. And because half of 90 is 45, so you would add 45 plus 60 to get 105. Question 21. Liz goes on holidays to South Africa. Liz wants to change 850 pounds into South African rand. She wants to get as many rand notes as possible. And the exchange rate, 1 pound, is equals to 18.53 rand. Work out the number of 200 rand notes that Liz can get for 850 pounds. So I've highlighted the numbers so that it's easier for you to see it if you're doing it in an exam condition. Sometimes you might not use highlighter, you just use your pencil or your pen to circle the numbers so that you can just look at them. So 1 pound is 18.53 rand. So 850 pounds, you just multiply. If 1 pound is 18.53, 850, to get from 1 pound to 850, you times 850. So you times 850. Times 850 times 850. That gives you 15750.5 rand. You want to get 200 rand notes. So you divide by 200. How many of them are in it? You get 78.7525. But you cannot get 0.75 of a note. You're not going to rip it up or break it into 2 or something. So you would round it to 78 whole notes. You want to get 200 rand notes. So you get 78 and then you get that other ones in another type of form of money. So it's typical money type questions for exams. Change it to one, from one currency to another, and then you can apply it to other situations. Question 22. In October, Sally drove 560 miles in her car. The car traveled 34.5 miles for each gallon of petrol. Petrol costs £1.08 per liter, and 1 gallon is the same as 4.55 liters. So work out the cost of the petrol the car used in October. So what you want to do is to change 34.5 miles is 1 gallon. So 560 miles is how many gallons? So it's 560. If you cross multiply times 1 divided by 34.5. So you divide by 34.5, you get 60.231866406 gallons. So you know the number of gallon. But the question is given 1 gallon. 1 gallon is 4.55 liters. So we want to change these gallons to liters. So 16.23 gallons multiplied by 4.55 gives you the liters. So we have changed from miles to gallons. Now we're going from gallons to liters. And then now, after we got the liters, we are given that 1 liter is £1.08. Now we want to change how much is 73.855 liters. So you times that by 1.08, it gives you 79.76, 79 pounds 76 pence. So with this question, change the miles to gallons and change the gallons to liters, and then now find out the cost for the amount, for the quantity in liters. Question 23. Costco sells packs of mints to shop owners. On Monday, 3 shop owners buy mints from Costco. Each shop owner buys small packets, medium packets, and large packets. Small, medium, and large. Alan buys 400 packets of mints. So Alan buys 32% of small packets, 40% of large packets. Beryl buys 500 packets of mints. 3/10 of small packets, 1/10 are large packets. Charlie buys 150 small packets of mints, so that the number of small packets of mints is 2, with that 2 dot there. The number of medium packets is 3:4. Work out the total number of medium packets of mints these shop owners buy. You must show all your working. Let's start with Alan. Alan, 100% minus 32 minus 40, it gives 28%. Now, we want to find 28% of 400 because Alan buys 400 packets. So 28% of 400, it gives you 112. So for medium, it's 112 because Alan has to buy small, medium, and large. So he's got small, 32%, and he's got large, 40%. We want to find the total number of medium. That's what the question wants us, total number of medium. So for medium, Alan bought 112. Let's see how many medium did Beryl buy. How many medium did Beryl buy? We add 3/10 plus 1/10, you get, and then you subtract 3/10 and 1/10 from 1, you get 6/10, which is 60%. So you want to find 60% or 6/10 of 500, that gives you 300. That means Beryl bought 300 medium. Now, how many medium did Charlie buy? For Charlie, the ratio is 3:4. 150 for the small packets is to the medium packets. So 150 is 3. So one of them would be 150 divided by 3, which would be 50. So 4 would be 50 times 4 is 200. So that means 200 medium. For Charlie bought 200 medium. Now, what do you want to do? Add them to find the total medium. So you add 112 medium plus 300 medium plus 200 medium. That gives you 612 medium in total. And for this one, to remind you again, 112 medium was Alan who bought them. 300 medium was Beryl. 200 medium was Charlie. Question 24. Complete the Venn diagram to represent this information. A number is chosen at random from the universal set. Find the probability that the number is in the set A intersection B. That's what this sign means. So we need to complete the Venn diagram. The universal set is all these numbers, so we have to choose only from this list of numbers there. Inside A, 1, go 1, 5, 6, 8, and 9. But 6 is common, and 9 is common to A and B, so that's why it goes in the middle. It goes in the middle there because A and B, they have 6, so it goes and 9. So they share 6 and 9, we'll put it in the middle. So what's left in B? We have 2, 6, 9. 2, 6, 9. So that's B. Now, the numbers which are not in A or B, I'll put outside. And the numbers are 3, 4, and 7. Find the probability that the number is in the set A intersection B. There's two numbers in the inside A intersection B. Two numbers, 1, 2. So that represents the two numbers out of 9 numbers. The 9 numbers all together and 2 which are in the middle in A intersection B. That's why you got 2 divided by 9. Question 25. Katie invests £200,000 in a savings account for 4 years. Highlight the numbers to make it easier for you to see them. The account pays compound interest at a rate of 1.5% per annum every year. Calculate the total amount of interest Katie will get at the end of 4 years. So what you want to do is you can use this formula for those who remember it. A is the amount you get at the end. P is the principal, the amount you invest. She invests 200,000. R is the percentage, which is 1.5, and N is the number of years. And you sub in those values. R is 1.5, principal is 200,000, N is 4. And when you do that, you get 212,272.71. Calculate the total amount of interest Kate will get at the end of 4 years. And if you want to subtract to get the interest itself, you would do, for the interest itself, you would do 272.71 minus the original amount, which is 200,000. So when you subtract that, 212 minus the original amount, 272.71 minus 200,000. That gives you 12272.71, which is the interest for that investment. Question 26. The table shows information about the height of 80 plants. Find the class interval that contains the median. The median, to get the class interval, The median, if you add all of these numbers, they come up to 80. So the median is in the middle of them. And it would be where in this group, 40 less than H less than or equals to 50. That's where the median will be found, inside that group, because that would take you into the halfway point. 7 add 13, add 14. So that means the halfway point will be inside this point, and that's where you find it. Now, part B, on the grid, draw a frequency polygon for the information in the table. To do a frequency polygon, we use the numbers in the middle. So 15 and 7 is your first point. So you go 15 and you go up to 7. So that point there is 15 and 7. The next point, you go on the table, you use the middle point there, 25. The middle of 20 and 30 is 25 and 13. So 25 and 13. To get 25, you add 20 plus 30, divide by 2. So you got 25 and 13. Next point, 35 and 14. 45 and 12. And then 55 and 16. And then 65 and 18. Be very careful when you plot this point, so you need to get the scale right. It goes 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you've got to get this scale, divide it neatly. Take your time. And then you join all those points with a straight line, not a curve. A straight line, use a ruler. The examiners want to see straight lines, listing these points, marking those points clearly. Now you gave you the full marks for that question. Question 27. Sean has drawn a time series graph to show the numbers in thousands of visitors to a park. So in 2016, 2017, 2018, the number of visitors in thousands, and join them with this curly line. Write down 2 things that are wrong or could be misleading with this graph. So you look at the graph, 2 things that are wrong. I've written there 9 things. So you can choose 2 of them and write in your exams. If you're not sure, or you're thinking, you're doubting some of them, even if you put 2 or 3 of those things, you have a chance of getting the marks. So it should be joined with straight lines, not curved lines. So the lines joining the points should be straight lines. These lines are curved lines. Straight lines are using a ruler, joining 2 points, not curved lines. So that's one thing which you should use. I'll look at number 4. 9.5 is missing from vertical axis. If you look at this vertical axis, there's 8.5, there's 9, but there's no 9.5. So that's something which is missing in the middle there. Missing 9.5. That's another thing you can add to it. The graph does not begin at 0. It starts at 6. So if you look here, it does not start at 0. It starts at 6. That's another thing. It is not clear what 2, 3, 4 on the x-axis mean. You have got here 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. What does it mean? It's not clear what this means. Or you can say the scale in the years doesn't make sense. So those are some of the reasons you can give for this question to get those full marks in these GCSE exams. Question number 5. The diagram shows a hexagon. The hexagon has one line of symmetry. FA is equals to BC. FA is the same as BC. EF is the same as CG. That's why you see they represent them with those two dashed lines. Those two dashed lines means they're the same. That one dashed line and that one dashed line, it means they're the same. Angle BCD is equals to BCG is 2 times CGE. So if CG and E, the yellow angle there, if we call it X, that means the other one is 2x times 2 because it's 2 times. One is X, this other one is 2x. So now work out the size of AFE. AFE is this green one, this one in green there, and it's 2x. Okay, so now we know ABCF. ABCF is a trapezium. And how do we get the angle AFC? You can subtract 360 minus 117 minus 117, and then you divide that by 2, that will give you 63. Or what you can do, add all the angles. So total angle in a hexagon, look at the formula at the top. Total angle in the hexagon, there's this formula, n minus 2 times 180. N is 6. 6 minus 2 times 180 gives you 720. So the total angle in this hexagon is 720. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides is called hexagon. Total angle is 720. And let's add the angles together. You start with x at the bottom plus the x plus 2x plus 2x plus 117 plus 117. All of that equals to 720. When you solve that, you will get x to be 81. And so the angle AFE is 2 times that, so it's 81 times 2. That gives you 162. So to work out this type of question, we need to work out the area of the top circle, the area of the bottom circle. So Jeremy has to cover 3 tanks completely with paint, and its top and bottom part, and 1.6 meter is the diameter. So find out the area of the bottom circle, pi radius squared. How do you get the radius? Radius is half of the diameter. 1.6 divided by 2, it gives you 0.8. Radius is 0.8. So to find the area of the bottom circle, you can use pi times radius squared, and radius is diameter divided by 2, and that gives you 2.0106. So that's the area of the bottom circle. Now we want to find the blue area. That means the curved surface area. The curved surface area. We use this formula, 2 pi times r times the radius, because the h is from the height of that cylinder. When you cut this round open, when you cut this thing open, the circumference of this circle would be that length along, which is 2 pi r. So circumference of the circle is 2 pi r. And when you open it, that will be the length. So it'll be like a rectangle, length times width. the length 2 pi r times the width is pi h. So the important thing is when you cut that open, you will get a shape that looks like a rectangle. And you can treat this as 2 pi times r, which comes from the circumference, and this 1.8, which comes from that height. And then after that, you find the total area. You multiply the area of the bottom circle by 2, because there's 2 of them, the bottom circle and the top circle. And then you add it to the area of the curved surface area. You get a total area for one cylinder, for one of the tanks. For 3 tanks, you multiply your answer by 3. It gives you 39.2 meters squared. The question says 1 tin covers 5 meters squared. 7 tins of paint would cover 7 times 5. It gives you 35. So 7 tins of paint will cover 35 meters squared. But you want to cover 39. Since 39 is bigger than 35, that means you don't have enough paint. Why? Because 39 is bigger than 35, or 35 meters squared is smaller than 39. So the type of question in an exam, you do them in stages. Find the total area you want to paint. The shape of the bottom is a circle, the shape of the top is a circle. Find the area of a circle, and then you double it to get the total area of that circle. Open up that cylinder to make it, that blue part, to make it a rectangle. Find that area. So you add area of the 2 circles and area of that blue part, which in the rectangle in the middle, gives you the total area. Find the cost for painting the area using the what's given in the question, and then compare them. Question 30. Solve the simultaneous equation. 3x minus 4y equals to 11. 9x plus 2y equals to 5. What I tend to do is to make the value, the number in front of x, the same. In front of x is 3, in front of x is 9. To make it the same, you multiply this 3 by 3 to get 9. Multiply this minus 4, this negative 4 by 3 to get minus 12. And multiply the 11 by 3 to get 33. So what we're trying to do, what I'm trying to do here is to get the number in front of x to be the same. So in that way, when I subtract them, it will eliminate x, and then I can find y, and then solve it. So now this is 9x, 3 times 3 is 9x, 3 times negative 4 is minus 12y, 3 times 11 is 33. Now I'll subtract it. Right, 9x plus 2y equals to 5 underneath. You subtract. 9x take away 9x is 0. Minus 12y minus plus 2y. Minus 12y minus 2y. It gives you minus 14y. 33 take away 5 is 28. Now we solve this linear equation. You divide by minus 14 on the left and divide by minus 14 on the right. So you get y equals to minus 2. Now, we want to find the value of x. Use that value of minus 2 and sub it into one of the equations. Substitute the value of minus 2 in there. And that would give you 3x minus 4 times minus 2 equals to 11. 4 times minus 2 gives you plus 8. So you subtract that from both sides. 11 minus 8, it gives you 3. 3x equals to 3. Divide by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 3 divided by 3 is 1. That gives you x is 1 and y is minus 2. So solve the equation, simultaneous equation. So in exam, and make the value for x the same, the number in front of x the same, subtract them, solve for y, and then substitute that value for y to solve for x. Make the value of x the same, subtract it, it becomes 0, solve for y, use the value for y and sub it in one of the equations. I usually go for the one with easier numbers to manipulate, and then solve for x, and you write down your two answers. X is 1 and minus 2. And you can always check your answer by substituting the values of x in there and the values of y in there, and you will see it works. 9 times 1 is 9. 2 times negative 2 is 4 minus 4. 9 minus 4 is 5. Thank you.